The galaxy had long forgotten Earth. For centuries, no signal had come from the blue planet. No ships, no probes, no messages. To the great empires of the stars, Earth was a relic of the past, a small, weak planet that had vanished into history. Most civilizations had stopped wondering about it. Some even joked, calling it the Ghost World. On the bridge of the starship Valkyrian, Admiral Xylar studied the old maps of the galaxy, his fingers tracing the path to Earth. "Another ghost planet," he muttered, his voice carrying a mixture of disdain and curiosity. "Centuries of silence, and yet somehow it still exists. If it were alive, it would have contacted us by now." "Maybe it's dead," said Lieutenant Kale, leaning over his console. His eyes reflected the countless stars outside the viewport. "Or maybe they were too weak to survive." Xylar smirked. "Weak species do not disappear from the galaxy unless something wipes them out. And if they were gone, there would be nothing left to hide. But something is different. Sensors detect faint energy readings. Not enough for a ship. Not enough for cities. Just whispers. Perhaps remnants of technology. Old, but alive." Meanwhile, on Earth, centuries of silence had not meant weakness. Humans had survived countless disasters, wars, climate change, plagues, and the collapse of global governments. And yet they endured. What the galaxy did not know was that during their silence, humanity had changed. They had evolved in mind, body, and technology. In the heart of what was once called New York City, now a glittering metropolis of towers made from transparent metals and glowing energy conduits, Dr. Elena Rivas walked through the central hub of Earth's orbital communication station. Humans had mastered energy beyond what any alien civilization could imagine. Fusion cores the size of cities powered vast machines, ships that could travel faster than light, and defensive systems that made Earth nearly untouchable. "Elena," called a young technician, waving her hand to get her attention. "The probe is ready. Coordinates are locked. It's ready to send the first message outside the solar system in centuries." Elena paused, looking at the small sphere, the probe that would carry humanity's message to the stars. She felt a shiver of excitement mixed with caution. "Are we ready to be seen again?" she asked softly. The technician shrugged. "We have the technology, we have the fleet, and we have the strategy. All we need now is courage." Elena nodded. Humanity had learned to survive quietly, to rebuild without drawing attention. They had avoided the prying eyes of alien civilizations for centuries, but the time had come. The galaxy was ready, or so they would soon discover. In orbit above Earth, the probe hummed as it prepared to leave the station. Its design was elegant and simple, a perfect mix of stealth and advanced computing. It carried Earth's message, encrypted in ways no alien codebreaker could easily decipher. Within it were data about Earth's new energy systems, propulsion, technology, and the secrets of their advanced defense. It was not a threat, yet in the wrong hands it could be devastating. Elena activated the launch sequence. "Remember," she said to the team around her, "this is not just a signal, it is a declaration. We are back, and we are not weak anymore." The probe shot forward into the void, disappearing among the stars, faster than any vessel the galaxy had ever known. On board the station, humans watched the tracking feed as it left the solar system. The screen showed only a blinking dot, but within it lay centuries of human progress, ingenuity, and the promise of return. Far away, in the void between stars, alien fleets began to detect the pulse. At first, it was ignored. A tiny, faint blip among millions of cosmic signals. But as the pulse reached nearby systems, it grew stronger, more complex. On the bridge of the alien warship Sci-Fi, Commander Krell frowned at his sensors. "What is this? A signal? It is not like anything we have seen before." His lieutenant, a sharp-minded alien named Varric, leaned over the console. "It is coming from the direction of the ghost planet, the one we assumed extinct. Earth." Krell's eyes widened. Earth, and that can't be. It has been silent for centuries. We thought it dead. Varek hesitated, then said, or hiding. And if it is hiding, it may be preparing. Back on Earth, humans did not wait for the galaxy to respond. They were ready. Earth's fleet had grown in secret, training for centuries to meet challenges beyond their solar system. Ships moved silently through orbit, armed with weapons that could disable entire fleets without harming the planet below. AI systems guided their maneuvers, learning strategies from history, war simulations, and the very nature of space itself. Elena walked through the fleet hangar, her boots echoing on the polished metal floors. She stopped in front of one of the flagship vessels, the Horizon, a massive ship designed for both exploration and defense. Its hull shimmered with adaptive materials, able to cloak or reflect energy beams. It represented the pinnacle of human engineering, the symbol of a species that had learned patience, resilience, and power. Captain Raj Malik, the commanding officer of the Horizon, approached Elena. "You believe the galaxy is ready to see us again?" he asked, his voice steady but filled with anticipation. Elena smiled. "I don't know if they are ready, but we are, and that is what matters." As the probe's message reached distant star systems, the galaxy stirred. Traders, explorers, and diplomats all noticed the anomaly. Within hours, news spread. A signal from Earth, long thought dead, had returned. Some alien empires were curious. Some were cautious. Others, proud and arrogant, laughed at the idea that humans could pose any threat. But none could ignore the pulse. It was too precise, too clever, and too full of hidden information. In a quiet chamber deep within Earth's orbital station, Elena and her team watched the response codes coming back from the probe. The encryption was being studied by alien civilizations. Some systems attempted to interpret it, failing to grasp its complexity. Others paused, sensing a new intelligence, unlike anything they had encountered before. "This is just the beginning," Elena whispered. She looked out the observation window at the swirling blue oceans and green lands of Earth below. "They will know us soon, and when they do, they will see how far we have come." Meanwhile, in the far reaches of the galaxy, the first alien fleets began moving toward Earth's coordinates. Some approached with diplomacy in mind, hoping to make contact with the lost species. Others moved with suspicion, their weapons ready, assuming the humans must be weak, but wary of deception. The galaxy had grown comfortable. It had thought Earth's silence meant extinction, weakness, and irrelevance. But centuries of quiet had not been emptiness. They had been preparing, observing, learning, waiting. The galaxy had not seen anything like it in centuries. The pulse from Earth had reached multiple star systems, carrying information so advanced, so precise, that it stunned alien civilizations. Some tried to decode it, their finest algorithms, churning for hours and failing. Others paused, sensing a strange intelligence behind the message. On the bridge of the alien flagship Sci-Fi, Commander Krell paced back and forth. His sensors had captured the pulse, and for the first time he felt unease. "It is impossible," he muttered. "A species that has been silent for centuries. How could they advance so much?" Lieutenant Varek, his second-in-command, pointed to the data streams flowing across the console. "Sir, look at this. It's not just a message, it's a blueprint. They are sharing schematics for propulsion, energy systems, even defensive strategies. They are prepared, way beyond what we expected." Krell stopped and stared at the display. "This cannot be a coincidence. They've been hiding and learning and waiting. We assumed the silence meant weakness. We were wrong, dead wrong." Meanwhile, Earth did not wait for alien reactions. The humans were busy preparing their first contact teams. Ships moved quietly through orbit, their engines silent, cloaked beneath the shimmers of advanced energy fields. Their technology had progressed far beyond the basic starships the galaxy knew. Ships could travel faster than light without detection, energy shields could withstand most weapons, and AI systems could predict enemy maneuvers before they even happened. Dr. Elena Rivas stood in the command center of Earth's orbital station, observing the incoming alien signals. She spoke to Captain Raj Malik, who stood beside her, a map of the nearby galaxy projected before them. "They are reacting," she said, her voice calm but firm. "Some are curious, others suspicious. A few are already sending fleets toward us." Raj frowned. "Fleets? How close?" "Within 2 months' travel at their maximum speed," Elena replied. "But none of them know what they are facing. None of them understand that humans are no longer vulnerable." In orbit, the Horizon and several other advanced ships were preparing for a diplomatic escort. Earth intended to meet the first alien envoy not with aggression, but with authority. They would demonstrate capability without immediately showing all their power. Humans had learned patience. The galaxy had learned arrogance. On a distant alien planet, a council of leaders debated the pulse from Earth. Some argued for caution, insisting humans had been hiding for centuries for a reason. "We cannot assume they are weak," one elder said, his voice trembling. "They may have technology far beyond our understanding." Another council member laughed. "Ridiculous. A species that has been silent cannot compete with established civilizations. They are probably desperate, maybe even primitive. Let them speak. Then we will decide." But not everyone agreed. Young advisors warned of underestimating Earth. They cited subtle anomalies in the pulse, patterns of energy, cryptic algorithms, signals hidden within signals. It was more than a simple message. It was a test. The galaxy had not anticipated humans would be this clever. Back on Earth, Elena oversaw the transmission of their diplomatic messages. "We send greetings," she said to her team. "But we also show we are ready. This is not just a hello, it is a statement. We exist, we are advanced, and we have survived centuries of chaos to reach this moment." The first alien ships arrived near Earth within days despite traveling light years in record time. Their ships were massive, elegant, but slow compared to Earth's vessels. From orbit, humans watched silently as these alien envoys approached, curious but cautious. The first envoy's flagship, the Solara, stopped at a safe distance from Earth's orbit. Alien emissaries, humanoid, but clearly alien in features, transmitted their presence. "We are the Council of Viralia," their leader's voice echoed across frequencies. "We respond to your signal. Identify yourselves and state your intentions." Elena took a deep breath, her hands steady on the controls. "This is Dr. Elena Rivas, Chief Scientist and Human Envoy," she transmitted. "We are the descendants of Earth. For centuries we remained silent. Now we return, not as the weak or forgotten, but as a species capable of peace, diplomacy, and defense. We offer dialogue, exchange, and cooperation, but we are prepared to defend ourselves if challenged." The Varelian leader paused. This is unexpected. Your civilization, your technology, which surpasses what we anticipated. Explain yourselves." Elena's voice was calm, almost gentle, but carried authority. "We have survived. We have learned. While the galaxy assumed we were silent, we were growing, evolving, and mastering what it takes to endure. We are no longer the species you left behind. If you wish peace, we will extend it. But we are not naive. And we are not weak." For a moment, silence filled the void between the ships. The alien emissaries consulted among themselves, their communication filled with urgency and confusion. "Prepare your defensive systems," one finally said. "We cannot underestimate them." On Earth, humans remained composed. Their ships formed formations that were both defensive and symbolic. Advanced shields glimmered as fleets took position around key orbital stations. AI-guided systems ran simulations continuously, predicting every possible move the aliens might take. Humans did not panic. They had prepared for this moment for decades. As the Varelian ships edged closer, Elena initiated a display of Earth's capabilities. Energy shields rose to full strength, glimmering with patterns that were as beautiful as they were intimidating. Small drones zipped through space, demonstrating precise maneuvers and communication techniques that even the alien ships struggled to anticipate. The Varelians watched, astonished. Their fleets, their technology. It is unprecedented, whispered one ambassador. We assumed a silent species was weak. We were wrong. Elena transmitted one final message to the aliens. This is not an act of war, she said. It is a demonstration of our readiness. We wish to establish trust, not fear. But we will not allow threats. The galaxy underestimated us for centuries. It will not happen again. Some alien factions, inspired by what they saw, responded with cautious greetings. Others, prideful and stubborn, refused to acknowledge humanity's advancement. A species so long silent. Perhaps it is time to remind them of their place, muttered one warlord, plotting in secret. Elena and her team monitored the galaxy's reaction. It was a mixture of awe, suspicion, and fear. For centuries, humans had been underestimated. For centuries, the galaxy had assumed their silence meant extinction. Now, the balance had shifted. Humanity's message had sparked curiosity, negotiations, and even fear across multiple systems. Captain Raj Malik approached Elena, his face serious. Dr. Rivas, we have shown them our strength, but this may provoke those who refuse diplomacy. We must be ready for anything. Elena nodded. That is why we have spent centuries preparing. They cannot surprise us anymore. If they wish conflict, they will face a species that has survived against all odds. If they seek alliance, they will find a civilization that values peace and cooperation above all else. The first exchanges of data and communication continued for weeks. Alien civilizations scrambled to understand the full scope of human technology. Some sent scholars, scientists, and diplomats. Others sent spies, hoping to steal secrets. But humans had anticipated every move. Advanced AI systems monitored communications, intercepted attempts, and ensured Earth's secrets remained secure. One particular discovery surprised the galaxy. Humans had not only mastered energy and propulsion, but had developed strategies that seemed almost prophetic. Every move was calculated yet fluid. Every defense was precise yet adaptable. Humans had not only returned, they had returned stronger, smarter, and more capable than any species in known space. On Earth, Elena observed the stars, feeling a mix of pride and responsibility. We are no longer alone, she said quietly to herself. The galaxy is awake again and they see us as we truly are. But the question remains, will they accept us or challenge us? The pulse that had begun as a simple signal had grown into a wave that touched countless worlds. Earth's return was no longer a secret. The galaxy was awake and the story of humanity's resurgence had begun. The galaxy had long grown comfortable in its assumptions. Centuries of silence from Earth had convinced every major civilization that the planet and its people were weak, irrelevant, or extinct. Traitors, diplomats, and warlords had all underestimated humanity. That assumption, the galaxy would soon learn, was a dangerous mistake. The first wave of alien diplomats arrived near Earth, their sleek ships glinting under the sun's light. They were cautious, curious, and in many cases fearful. After the pulse, they had been warned. Humans were no longer the species of old. Humans were advanced, prepared, and intelligent beyond expectation. On Earth's orbital station, Dr. Elena Rivas and Captain Raj Malik monitored the incoming fleets. They are approaching slowly, Elena said, her fingers flying across the console. Some are here for diplomacy. Others are testing us. We need to identify each faction, every intent, before making the next move. Raj nodded. Let's show them why humanity survived. Not with aggression, but with strategy. The first alien fleet to arrive was from the Varelian Council. Their ships, massive and intimidating, formed a tight formation near Earth's orbit. From inside the flagship, the Varelians watched Earth's fleet with a mix of skepticism and awe. Report, demanded Commander Krell. His eyes never left the holographic displays showing the human vessels. Lieutenant Varric hesitated. Sir, their technology is extraordinary. Their ships maneuver with precision we cannot predict. Their energy shields, they're far stronger than anything we possess. They are superior. Krell's face paled. We assumed weakness. We assumed silence meant vulnerability. We were wrong. Meanwhile, Elena initiated the first diplomatic approach. She sent a simple transmission. We welcome communication. We offer friendship and knowledge, but we are prepared for defense if needed. The Varelians received it and paused. They had expected arrogance, perhaps desperation, but not composure and authority. The humans spoke clearly, logically, and with confidence. It was as if they had anticipated every possible reaction, every potential threat. On the planet Raelith, another alien empire received the pulse from Earth and the subsequent communications. Scientists and military strategists pored over the data. This species, it's not just technology, one remarked. They are strategic geniuses. They think in ways we have never imagined. Even their message carries tactics, lessons, and warnings simultaneously. The galaxy began to realize that Earth was not a simple planet to conquer or ignore. Humans had returned stronger, smarter, and prepared to assert themselves, not through war, but through skill, intelligence, and undeniable presence. Back in orbit, Earth demonstrated its capability. Small fleets of ships darted around the alien vessels, cloaking and decloaking in precise patterns. Energy pulses danced across space, not as attacks, but as displays of coordination and efficiency. Alien observers, despite themselves, marveled at the skill. Elena watched the readings. They are observing, she said. They are learning from us, just as we have learned from them. This is the first step toward balance. Captain Malik, however, had a more cautious perspective. Balance is one thing. Pride is another. Some will not accept our return. They may challenge it. We must remain prepared for that possibility. The first face-to-face meeting occurred on neutral ground, a massive space station between Earth and the Varelian home system. Humans arrived in their flagship, the Horizon, with precision and calm authority. The aliens had never encountered a species that could assert itself so confidently, and they were careful in every move. Dr. Elena Rivas stepped forward to greet the Varelian delegation. We come in peace, she said, but we are prepared to defend ourselves if necessary. Our return is not a challenge, it is a statement of survival, intelligence, and progress. The Varelian ambassador, an elegant figure with translucent skin and glowing eyes, studied her intently. Your civilization, it is more advanced than we could have imagined. You have survived where others would have failed. Your fleet, your technology, even your communication, it is precise and deliberate. Why now? Elena's gaze was steady. We have watched the galaxy. We have learned, and we have prepared. Our silence was not weakness. It was strategy. We are here now to reclaim our place among the stars, but not through fear, through collaboration, through demonstration of what humanity can contribute. The ambassador paused. Most civilizations would have acted with arrogance or aggression. You act with authority tempered by wisdom. Experience teaches humility, Elena replied, but it also teaches us strength. We have endured disasters, wars, and challenges beyond imagination. That is why we stand ready today, not as a weak species, but as one who has earned the right to be heard. As talks continued, whispers spread across the galaxy. Traders, explorers, and smaller species began to follow the story of Earth's resurgence. Some sent scouts, curious to witness the humans. Others watched in fear, uncertain if they should align with humanity or oppose them. But not all were impressed. Among the outer reaches of the galaxy, warlords and proud empires whispered plans of conquest. They are new, they are clever, but they are only one species, one boasted. We will test them. We will see if their silence was wisdom or naivety. On Earth, humans anticipated these reactions. Their fleet remained ready, their AI systems analyzing potential threats and scenarios with unmatched efficiency. But the humans also extended gestures of cooperation. Trade, knowledge exchange, and shared technology were offered, not as gifts, but as demonstrations of humanity's capability to foster alliances. One alien scientist, observing Earth's AI networks and technology, was stunned. Their logic, their strategy, it is almost as if they can predict our thought patterns. They are not just advanced, they are evolved in thought, planning, and adaptation. We have underestimated them for centuries. The first formal agreements were signed with smaller civilizations willing to accept humans as equals. Knowledge of advanced energy systems, navigation, and resource management began to spread. Earth's influence grew, not through war but through undeniable merit. Yet tension remained. Some empires, unwilling to accept humanity's rise, began clandestine operations. Spies, saboteurs, and covert fleets were deployed to test human defenses. But every attempt failed. Human intelligence and AI systems anticipated moves, countered attacks, and, when necessary, neutralized threats without escalation. Dr. Elena Rivas reflected on the progress. They assumed our silence meant weakness, she said to Captain Malik. Instead, we have returned stronger, wiser, and more capable. The galaxy underestimated us, and now they are realizing the truth. Malik nodded. Some will accept it gracefully. Others will resist. But one thing is certain, they cannot ignore us anymore. As Earth's influence grew, so did the understanding of human resilience. Stories spread of the quiet species that had survived centuries in isolation, only to return with unmatched capability. Across the galaxy, fear, respect, and admiration mingled in equal measure. Elena watched a transmission from a distant star system where a council of alien leaders debated humanity's rise. They could destroy us, one said, but they have not. They offer alliance instead. That is their power. That is their strength, another replied. Their silence was not absence. It was preparation. They are extraordinary. For the first time, the galaxy saw humans not as prey, not as weaklings, and not as forgotten. They were a species to respect, to learn from, and when necessary, to fear. Earth's pulse of return had shifted the balance of perception. But Elena knew the journey was just beginning. Diplomacy, alliance, and demonstration of power were only the first steps. The galaxy was waking up to humanity's presence. And, with that awakening came curiosity, admiration, and inevitable challenge. As night fell over Earth, seen from orbit as a swirl of blue and green beneath the stars, Elena allowed herself a moment of quiet reflection. We have returned, she said softly. The galaxy is surprised, and that is our advantage. But we must remain vigilant. Our journey has just begun. Humanity's return was no longer a mystery or a legend. It was reality. A species that had survived centuries of silence had returned more powerful, more strategic, and more united than the galaxy had ever imagined. The galaxy had taken notice. Earth was no longer the forgotten planet. Stories of human ingenuity and advanced technology spread like wildfire across star systems. Yet with recognition came suspicion, envy, and fear. Some civilizations welcomed humanity's return, eager to learn and trade. Others, however, bristled at the idea of a species that had survived centuries of isolation only to reappear stronger than anyone had imagined. Commander Krell of the Varelian fleet could not hide his unease. We underestimated them, he muttered as his ships moved into position near a contested trade route. Their strategy, their technology, it is beyond anything we have faced. We cannot allow them to grow unchecked. Lieutenant Varric, monitoring Earth's movements from his console, frowned. Sir, they are calm but always ready. Every action is calculated. Any attack we attempt, they will anticipate it. Krell scowled. Then we will force the test. If they are truly prepared, let us see it. If they are not, well, perhaps this is the moment of their defeat. Meanwhile, Earth had been quietly monitoring the Varelian maneuvers. Their fleet, though large, was predictable. Advanced AI systems analyzed every formation, every trajectory, every potential attack. Humanity did not fear confrontation, but they respected the need for caution. Dr. Elena Rivas convened with Captain Raj Malik and other key officers aboard the Horizon. "They are probing us," she said, pointing to a holographic display of incoming enemy ships. "They think they can challenge us. We need to demonstrate strength, but not with reckless force. Strategy is our weapon, not just power." Raj nodded. "We have waited centuries for this. Every simulation, every fleet exercise, it has prepared us for this moment. Let's remind the galaxy why humans endure." The first signs of conflict began when Varelian ships approached the neutral systems near Earth's orbit, attempting to seize control of a resource-rich asteroid belt. Humans observed silently, then responded with precision. Small, agile human ships deployed rapidly, moving in ways the aliens could not predict. Energy shields shimmered as defensive barriers activated, protecting the asteroids while maintaining peaceful intent. The Varelians were surprised. Their attacks were deflected without a single human vessel lost. Missiles evaporated mid-flight, energy pulses were absorbed or redirected, and the humans maneuvered with almost prescient anticipation. "This is impossible," Krell whispered. "They know our every move before we make it." Varek's eyes widened. "They are not just reacting, they are predicting. Every pattern, every decision, they have accounted for it." Elena watched from the Horizon's bridge, her hands steady on the controls. "They are testing us," she said calmly. "They want to see if our silence meant weakness. Let's show them preparation, skill, and strategy." Human forces moved in perfect coordination. Drones swarmed in formations that mirrored the Varelian fleet, confusing sensors and creating the illusion of greater numbers. The Horizon itself acted as the command center, coordinating thousands of smaller vessels with precision. As the Varelian fleet became frustrated, other alien factions watching from nearby systems began to whisper. "If one species can do this, what else are they capable of?" One warlord muttered. "They have returned not as prey, but as a master of strategy and technology." Krell, desperate to regain control, ordered an all-out offensive. Energy. Beams fired, missiles launched, and the battle seemed imminent. But humans had anticipated this. Shield generators expanded to absorb energy without damaging the ships beneath. Countermeasures diverted weapons, turning the attack against the aggressors in a subtle, non-lethal way. Elena's voice echoed over the Horizon's comms. "We will not escalate conflict unnecessarily, but we will defend ourselves, our allies, and the systems under our protection. Every move we make is precise, every response calculated. This is not war, it is demonstration." The alien fleet faltered under the human strategy. Their attacks became disorganized as humans controlled the pace of battle. Systems that had seemed invincible were neutralized by humans without loss of life. Ships that thought themselves superior were maneuvered into positions where they could do nothing but retreat. Observers across the galaxy took note. Trade systems, small empires, and even distant planets watched the confrontation unfold in real time. Humanity's return was no longer a story. It was a spectacle of intelligence, foresight, and control. In a final maneuver, humans surrounded the remaining Varelian ships, creating a formation that displayed both dominance and mercy. "Your aggression has been neutralized," Elena transmitted to Commander Krell. "We have defended ourselves without unnecessary destruction. We offer you a choice. Retreat peacefully or face complete containment." Krell stared at the display of human power, unable to believe what he saw. His ships, though vast, were trapped by human strategy, unable to escape without risking total loss. They are not just strong," he muttered. "They are extraordinary." Varek, shocked and humbled, whispered. "We have underestimated them for centuries. Their silence, it was preparation. Their return, it is dominance without arrogance." Elena watched as Krell transmitted his decision. Retreat. The Varelian fleet began to withdraw, their pride wounded, but lives preserved. Humanity had proven its strength without unnecessary bloodshed, a lesson the galaxy would not soon forget. On Earth, Celebrations were quiet but meaningful. Humans did not rejoice in violence but in their ability to defend, survive, and assert themselves with intelligence. Dr. Elena Rivas addressed the fleet and the team at the orbital station. "Today, we have shown the galaxy that silence does not mean weakness," she said. "We have defended our home, our allies, and our principles. We have returned stronger than ever, and we have done so with honor. Let this be the first of many lessons. Humanity endures, and humanity is prepared." "Captain," Raj Malik smiled, looking out at the stars. "The galaxy has learned something new today. They will think twice before underestimating us again." Even among distant alien civilizations, the news of the human strategy spread. Some were inspired, realizing the value of patience, intelligence, and preparation. Others grew cautious, reconsidering their approach to the blue planet. Few dared to challenge humanity directly. Yet Elena knew the future would hold more tests. The galaxy was vast, filled with civilizations that valued power above all else. Some would seek to challenge humans, to measure their strength. Others would attempt deception, espionage, or subterfuge. But one thing was clear: Earth had returned, not as a weak and silent species, but as a force of intellect, strategy, and resilience. In the aftermath of the encounter, humans extended diplomatic gestures to the Varelians and other observing civilizations. Trade agreements, knowledge exchanges, and collaborative projects were offered, not as signs of weakness, but as demonstrations of humanity's strength combined with wisdom. For the first time in centuries, humanity was respected on a galactic scale. They had survived isolation, mastered technology beyond imagination, and proven that their silence had been preparation, not retreat. Elena reflected on the lessons learned. "Our return is more than technology," she said. "It is strategy, foresight, and patience. The galaxy assumed we were gone. Now they know we are here, and we will endure." Captain Malik placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "We have survived centuries. We can face anything the galaxy throws at us. Today was the first test. Tomorrow we will continue to teach the universe what it means to underestimate humanity." As Earth's ships returned to orbit, the planet below glowed peacefully. Cities hummed with energy, unaware of the spectacle above. Humanity had proven itself not only to alien civilizations but to itself. They had faced the first test of strength and emerged not only victorious but wise, measured, and united. The galaxy had been reminded. Humans were no longer a silent, forgotten species. They were a force to respect, to learn from, and when necessary, to fear. And the story of their return was just beginning. The galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget. Humans had returned not as the quiet, forgotten species of old, but as a civilization advanced, strategic, and united. Stories of Earth's return spread faster than light through trade. Networks, communications arrays, and even the whispers of distant explorers. On Earth, life continued with a sense of calm urgency. Cities gleamed with energy and light, powered by fusion systems and guided by intelligent AI. Ships moved through orbit and beyond, not in haste, but with purpose. Humanity had proven its strength, but the future still held challenges. Dr. Elena Rivas stood on the observation deck of the orbital station, looking at the distant stars. "We have shown the galaxy our strength," she said quietly to Captain Raj Malik. "But strength alone is not enough. We must shape the future carefully, wisely, and ethically." Malik nodded. "That is what separates us from the others. Many seek power for domination. We seek stability, knowledge, and respect." The first weeks after the Varelian encounter were busy with diplomacy. Humans sent emissaries to distant star systems, opening communication channels, sharing knowledge, and offering assistance. Some civilizations, impressed by humanity's strategy and wisdom, quickly agreed to alliances. Trade routes expanded, scientific collaborations began, and the exchange of culture and technology flourished. Not all were willing to cooperate. Prideful empires and jealous warlords observed from afar, hesitant to align with a species they had once underestimated. Yet even they could not ignore humanity's growing influence. Strategic demonstrations, careful planning, and open diplomacy showcased not only power but integrity. One particularly tense meeting took place on the neutral station, orbiting the planet Virelia Prime. Leaders from several alien empires gathered, wary of humanity's rise. Elena and Malik arrived, escorted by Earth's flagship, the Horizon, surrounded by a formation of ships that signaled readiness without aggression. "Humans," one alien diplomat said, his voice sharp and suspicious, "you have demonstrated your power. But why should we trust a species that remained silent for centuries only to return with superior technology?" Elena smiled gently. "Our silence was not deceit. It was survival. We observed, we learned, and we prepared. Now, we return not to conquer, but to participate, to offer knowledge, stability, and opportunity. Humanity has endured because we understand balance. We wield strength not for tyranny, but for protection, growth, and collaboration." Another alien leader, older and wiser, spoke. "Your logic is sound and your strategy impeccable. Perhaps it is time to reconsider our assumptions. Perhaps the galaxy can benefit from your return." This exchange marked a turning point. Alien factions that had once doubted humans began tentative negotiations, opening trade, science, and cultural exchanges. Humanity's reputation as a species of intelligence, patience, and resilience grew, and slowly, the galaxy began to recognize Earth as a power to respect, not fear, but respect. Despite this progress, not all challenges disappeared. In distant systems, covert operations, espionage attempts, and sabotage threatened stability. Yet humans anticipated most moves, countering threats with precision. AI networks, fleet coordination, and strategic insight neutralized potential conflicts before they could escalate. Humans had mastered the art of preparation and foresight. On a remote station in the Andarian cluster, scientists marveled at humanity's advances. Their energy systems, their shields, their navigation, they are beyond anything we have achieved, one whispered. And yet, they act with intelligence and caution. They are extraordinary. In orbit above Earth, Elena and Malik watched over a massive fleet preparing for a new mission. Humans intended to expand influence, but not through force. Instead, they offered assistance to worlds affected by natural disasters, conflicts, and technological stagnation. Humanity's philosophy was simple: demonstrate strength through action, inspire loyalty through aid, and earn respect through wisdom. A convoy of humanitarian ships departed, carrying medical supplies, engineers, and scientists to distant colonies and planets in need. Alien leaders observing the convoy marveled at humanity's approach. "They wield power with purpose," one diplomat noted. "They teach without dominating, protect without oppression. Perhaps this is the future of our galaxy." Yet while humans built alliances, some factions still resisted. Jealous warlords, fearing loss of influence, began plotting against humanity. They sought to test the blue planet once more, hoping to discover weaknesses. But humans, anticipating even subtle threats, remained vigilant. Captain Malik reviewed the latest intelligence. "They are planning something," he said, eyes narrowing. "But their strategies are predictable if we remain careful. Humans are not reckless. That is our advantage." Elena nodded. "Every challenge we have faced has prepared us for this. Every test has strengthened us. Let them come. We are ready." Weeks later, a small fleet of hostile ships approached the edge of human-influenced space. They tested human defenses with minor attacks and reconnaissance missions. Yet every attempt was met with precision. Defensive systems activated before weapons could fire. Fleets responded with coordinated maneuvers, and humans neutralized threats with minimal damage. The galaxy watched as humans turned potential conflict into lessons in restraint, strategy, and intelligence. News of these encounters spread quickly. Alien civilizations began to view humanity not only as a technological marvel, but as a master of diplomacy and strategy. They were not feared for cruelty or aggression, but respected for their wisdom, patience, and capability. On Earth, celebrations were muted, but meaningful. Humanity had achieved something remarkable: survival, advancement, and the recognition of the galaxy. Children looked up at the stars, inspired by the story of a species that had endured centuries of silence and returned stronger than ever. Elena addressed the people of Earth from the orbital station, her voice broadcast across the planet. We have returned to the galaxy not as conquerors, but as partners. We have survived centuries of challenges, learned from them, and emerged stronger. Let this be the lesson. Humanity endures, adapts, and thrives. Our story is no longer one of silence. It is one of influence, cooperation, and hope. Captain Malik added, "The galaxy has learned that humans are not to be underestimated. But more importantly, they have learned that strength is best used with wisdom, and power is most effective when tempered by ethics. That is what makes humanity enduring." In the months that followed, humans continued to expand influence through diplomacy, science, and trade. New alliances formed, cultures shared knowledge, and conflicts that once seemed inevitable were prevented through negotiation and foresight. Humanity had become a stabilizing force in a galaxy that had once dismissed them. Stories spread of humans, saving colonies from disasters, mediating disputes, and sharing technology that improved the quality of life across star systems. The galaxy began to see Earth not as a threat, but as a beacon of innovation, morality, and resilience. Even former skeptics began to acknowledge humanity's impact. Alien diplomats praised Earth's leaders for combining power with diplomacy, intelligence with ethics, and strength with restraint. Across countless worlds, humans were respected, admired, and, in some cases, even celebrated. Yet, for all the admiration, humans remained humble. They remembered the centuries of silence, the isolation, and the challenges that had forced them to grow. They did not seek domination. They sought stability, knowledge, and collaboration. Elena looked out at the stars one evening from Earth's surface. "We have returned," she whispered to Malik, who stood beside her. "Not as a weak species, not as victims of history, but as humans, resilient, clever, and united. The galaxy sees us now, and they will remember us." Malik smiled. "We have achieved more than survival. We have shaped the future. The galaxy will never forget the return of humanity." In the years that followed, Earth became the center of a new era. Humans led alliances, fostered peace, and shared technology with civilizations willing to learn. Knowledge spread faster than conflict, and cooperation began to replace suspicion. Humanity's story became legend, a species that had vanished from view, survived centuries of hardship, and returned stronger, wiser, and more capable than anyone could imagine. The galaxy, once dismissive, now looked to Earth as a model of endurance, intelligence, and ethical power. The blue planet gleamed under its sun, a symbol of hope and resilience. Humans had learned that strength was not merely in weapons or technology, but in preparation, wisdom, and unity. Centuries of silence had ended, but humanity's influence had only just begun. And so, a new era dawned. The galaxy, once complacent and arrogant, now understood a vital truth. To underestimate humanity was the greatest mistake one could make. Earth had returned, stronger than ever,